Hey creative friends, welcome to my channel, and it is Wednesday, which means today is sourdough day, and this is actually the first video in my series that I'm doing for sourdough, and I don't know how long it's going to go, just as long as it makes me try out new recipes using sourdough. I am so excited because the reason I got into this is I wanted to start doing some sourdough again. Came across this awesome company called Knead Ace, and they have this amazing sourdough jar. I emailed them and said, hey, I really want to check it out. They sent me their products and I am in love with them. And so I'm actually an affiliate now. I will put the link in the description where you can purchase the products from Knead Ace. And when you do it through that link, because I'm an affiliate, it helps out my channel. That's kind of cool. But I was going to start with, classic, kind of a crusty sourdough loaf. And then one of you commented when I did my product review on the Knead Ace, or when I set up the sourdough starter, that the crust sometimes from traditional, kind of like those loaves of sourdough, is just really hard. It's hard for some people to eat, and so they don't usually eat sourdough. But so I'm going to try to make things that are very different. And so today I'm going to be making a sourdough discard cinnamon bread. Just a loaf of bread. It's going to be phenomenal, I'm telling you. But let me go over the ingredients that I have for you, and I will put all this down in the description as well. So I have 1½ cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of white granulated sugar, 1½ teaspoons right there of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, which I'm going to have to get that because let me get my teaspoon right here. 1 teaspoon. Ooh, it's because I was washing my teaspoon from when I made something else. All right, there's 1 teaspoon of salt. Got to have that. At 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, and I have that right here. 1/2 a teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and I fresh grind my nutmeg, so that smells phenomenal. 1 cup of the sourdough discard, and look at my sourdough discard. It looks so good. I'm so excited about it. That's really an active sourdough discard too. 1/4 cup of milk, so I have that right here, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Got that right there. Well, I've got 1/2 cup of melted butter and 1 large egg. So the ingredients. Now there is going to be a glaze to go on top of this, but that's just one of those things where you take 1/4 cup of powdered sugar and 1 to 2 teaspoons of milk, and you mix it up and then glaze it over the top. So the first thing to do is I've got my oven heated at 350 degrees. And now in a large mixing bowl, I'm going to mix together the flour, sugar. There's the flour. There's the sugar. And the baking powder. The salt. Oh, that was the salt. I had the salt. Whew. It's because I didn't have my little teaspoon, so I already had it in this little container. Whew. I thought I got everything. That's fine. So the salt and the cinnamon and the nutmeg. So all of the dry ingredients are going to get mixed together right here. Here's the cinnamon and here's the nutmeg. And the way I'm going to mix those is I'm just going to take my little whisk. I like to do it this way because I feel like it really incorporates everything. So once this is done, then in a smaller bowl, I don't have a smaller bowl, I just have this other bowl, which is fine. I also have a bread pan loaf that's already been greased. So got that going. My little chicken over there chirping. Here we go. Alright. I got that done. I don't have a chicken in my kitchen that's chirping. She's in the other room, but she's by the door so you can hear her. She's needing extra vitamin supplements, so that's what she's getting. Okay, that's nicely mixed. Now in a smaller bowl, we're going to combine the wet ingredients. So we get that out of your way. So that will be the sourdough. Discard the milk, vanilla extract, butter, and the eggs. So there's the sourdough. And what this is going to do, it's just going to give this bread a little rise, a little better rise, and some extra flavor. It's going to give it that tangy flavor, which is going to be cool. But let me get it all out of there. This is the little silicone thing that they give you with your Knead Ace fermenting or sourdough jar, which I love. It's so good. Okay. get that off of there. There we go. All right. So I've got the sourdough discard, the milk, the vanilla extract, the butter, and then the egg. And then we're going to put the egg in there. I always crack the egg into a separate bowl in case you get a shell. Or, I actually had a bad egg one time, even from the store. It was weird that there was one egg that was bad from the store. But I learned that, especially if you've got your own eggs too. Okay, now we're going to mix this up. It's pretty easy to make. So there's the dry ingredients and the wet ingredients. And then pour the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients, and then we're going to stir that until it's just moistened. Okay, that looks like it's mixed well. Okay, I'm going to use my other spatula to mix it up. Okay, so we're going to pour the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. There we go. Let me get them all out of there. Okay, until it's just moistened. And then it's going to go into the lightly greased 9x5 baking pan. And then it's just going to go into the oven at 350 for about 50 to 55 minutes. And you can tell when it's done, because when it comes out, it should be about 195 degrees internally. But then you just put it on a baking rack and let it cool for about 15 minutes. So there we go. I want to get everything moistened, but I don't want to kind of like, it reminds me, the consistency with that sourdough in there, it kind of reminds me of the batter that would be like banana nut bread batter. You know what I mean? But this is going to taste so good because it's got that cinnamon and the nutmeg in it. Nice. Okay. Oops, there's a little bit. It's not. Okay, there we go. All right. There's my baking dish. So that was pretty quick. Ooh, a little bit of flour there. It'll work itself in. So that was pretty quick and easy. Great way to use some discard. There we go. And there's recipes all online. You know, if you just search online sourdough recipes that aren't bread, there will be so many. I have one for brownies that I want to do. I was going to do it today, but I didn't have enough chocolate chips. So I decided this was it. Today is kind of like sweet tooth day for me. I've done nothing but baking sweet stuff. Okay, so there we have it. There we go. And now, let's take a look at that. Okay, so there it is, and that's going to go in the oven at 350 for 50 to 55 minutes, and when it's done, I'll be back. Straight out of the oven. It looks beautiful, and where'd my little toothpick go? I had there it is. I got a toothpick so I can check. Looks nicely done. And now I'm going to take a butter knife and just go around the outside of it and turn it out. Actually, I want to use my other tray. Hold on, I want to get my other tray. I prefer this tray because the grid is smaller. This one's got a wider one. I don't like it so much. So now, perfect. Ooh, there we have it. Now I'm going to let that completely cool, and then we will do the glaze that goes on top. It has cooled off beautifully, and now I'm going to take the frosting, or the glaze, and what this is a 1/4 cup of powdered sugar, and I'm going to take a little bit of milk, and I'm going to put it in there, Doesn't take much. And I'm just going to mix this, and I want it to be where I can pour it out across the top of the loaf. So literally that was just a teeny bit. And I have to put a little tiny bit more, but you have to be really careful because it will get to be too much really quickly. But then you can just add more sugar. There you go. See there? Mixed it up nicely so it's nice and smooth. And now I'm going to drizzle it over the loaf. I suppose I could just pour it. Let me see if it'll pour nicely. There we go. Get it started. Then I'm going to cut a slice and we'll have Brian come check it out. There we go. That's good enough. You want to do all the fancy stuff, you can. I'm just going to get it on there. There we go. Perfect. Now, let's try that. Okay. Wipe this up. It's kind of pretty looking, isn't it nice? Look at that. Love it. Okay. Let's just take a little slice off the end here. I'm going to give Brian the middle slice, not the end. I'll eat the end slice, but I like to keep the end slices to push back up against the loaf, kind of to keep it from drying out. So, look at how pretty that looks in there. Isn't that nice? All right, let me get Brian in here, and we'll do a sampling. I didn't even have to call him. He heard me say, let me get Brian in here. All right, this is a sourdough cinnamon bread. So, go ahead and take that middle piece. We're going to check it out. See what you think. Just take a piece off of it. Oh, I'm going to cut it all the way through. So it's sourdough, made with sourdough discard.
That's good.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is good.
Mm.
I like it. All right. Even got the little glaze on there. Thank you. So there you have it. Sourdough discard cinnamon bread. I'm excited about. And this isn't your typical sourdough. All right, Jake's here with pizza. You guys, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.